made a bunch of printouts.
Okay.
Because, like I said earlier, even though it's not the resolution that I was hoping for, I could still try to advocate for you.
Okay.
So basically, when I talked to the DA's office, they directed me towards CalCrim 1300, which is basically jury instructions on what they read to a jury if they're going to seek possible prosecution against a defendant in a case.
Okay.
Right? So I've
and just to clarify, we're going back to the person that made the threats on the YouTube channel.
The YouTube channel.
4 or 5 of them.
This is just a summary of what we kind of went over. As the instruction notes for Penal Code 422, we have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt, among other elements, that the defendant, the person that was making the posts, willfully threatened and unlawfully kill or unlawfully cause great bodily injury to the victim, and that 2, the threat was so clear, immediate, unconditional, and specific that it communicated to the victim's serious intention and immediate prospect that the threat would be carried out. And you also have to be in sustained, constant fear of all these threats. Based on the facts, we cannot prove this charge. The threat is not very specific, as it mentions paying $25 to anyone who wants to knock out a tooth of the victims. It's also not unconditional, which I also did some further research through case law. It also says that it has to be so unequivocal and unconditional, immediate, and specific as to convey a person's threatened a gravity purpose of immediate prospect of execution of that threat. So, and I'll circle back and finish up here.
Okay.
It's not unconditional as it requires other people agreeing to execute the threat. Lastly, it does not communicate serious intention or immediate prospect of being carried out, although most people feel that it could be, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The contact is online on YouTube, where there is no indication that the suspect knows the victim, knows any identifying info about the victim, or vice versa, such as to conduct, and the threat is actually likely to occur. So, based on those reasons,
he knows exactly where I live, not exactly resident address, but he knows the town I live in. And Los Gatos is not very big. All of my videos pretty much focus around the similar area.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that not being any more clear to being a threat. I mean, from what you described under the law. If this threat was made to, let's say I personally made this threat to Robert Schultz. Let's say I wrote him in an email. I'm going to get you, or I'm going to pay somebody to assault you if you're seen in public. What would happen to me? If put myself.
I understand what you're saying. It's what we know and what the DA's office can prove.
He wrote it like 4 or 5 times.
Correct. He cut and pasted it. I understand.
Yeah. So it's not like a random angry message.
I know.
He actually went through multiple videos and posted it on like, I think 4 or 5 different videos. One on the most peaceful video you can possibly come across.
Yeah, the one at the lake, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which had nothing to do with
anything. But he wrote it on that one. So I can't understand how it could be any more clear of a threat, an immediate threat, because it's online and it's public and it's immediate and it's accessible at any time of day or night. Anybody that sees me in Los Gatos, my pictures on my YouTube channel, it shows me skating, and they know what I look like. Anybody that sees me in downtown Los Gatos and wants to assault me he's offering to pay them. How much more clear can it be?
I obviously don't possess the legal knowledge that the district attorneys do. So when they're telling me that they can't prosecute the case,
it's because it's who it is.
They don't know you.
If it was Robert Schultz making the same claim.
I see. Well, I didn't give anyone's name.
Okay. But I'm just saying, if it was a public official, or let's say your dad or your sister made the same claim,
I would want it
prosecuted. It would be followed up on.
I understand.
And the same thing with the bike incident last time, Los Gatos. I asked Howard that. I said, if that would have been a police officer on a bike or a family member of a guy on a bike, you would follow up on that, and that guy would have been arrested that night. But because it's me, and you guys clearly don't like me, not you personally, but the Los Gatos Police Department clearly doesn't like me, they're not going to follow up on anything I call about. And they've already said that. I have a recording of them telling me, We're not going to respond to anything you call about. You've got a lawsuit against us. If you want to make a phone call, you call the town attorney. That video was supposed to be connected to that other video I posted, and it didn't for some reason. But it shows the Los Gatos Police Department telling me to go to the town hall to make that complaint. I was sent there to that town hall where I almost got arrested. I was told, we won't take your complaint. You have to go to the town attorney. I did what they told me. And within 2 or 3 minutes of me being there, I was almost arrested, which means they had to have called the second I got there. For the cop to show up 2 or 3 minutes after I got there, they called the second I walked in there, and before me and that town attorney or town manager even spoke, because I stood there for a good minute or so before they called immediately. They called immediately, or he never would have got there in that amount of time.
Okay.
That's an illegal arrest. So I need to go down, and I'm not in the mood for getting arrested. I need to file a complaint against him, and I want the phone call, the 911 phone call, which prompted them to come. I want to know what was said, because that's going to be a false arrest and a lie to get the police department to come, because they had to say something to get them to come. They can't just say, hey, there's a guy here that wants to fill out a police report, come arrest him. They can't do that. So they had to say something to get them to come. So they lied.
Well, like I said, if you're not getting those results that you want, I would go through. Well, it sounds to me like you've already done.
I've done everything possible. I'm trying to do I've called congressmen. I've called the FBI twice, and I'm going to call again on Monday, because I'm going to record their phone call.
What was the result with that?
Of the FBI? The first person spoke with me for actually a length amount of time, but then as soon as I started telling them, what the details of the complaint were about, she said, I don't have enough time for this, and literally hung up on me. Just hung up on me. Didn't say have a nice day, didn't say we're done or anything, just said I don't have time for this, and hung up. The next time, it was basically the same thing. But I'll call back, and I'm going to tell them I'm recording, and I'll post it on YouTube. So the citizens can see how it is if you call the FBI to make a complaint about what I'm going through. This never should have gotten to this point. I'm blown away that it has gotten to this point. The corruption of the town hall in Los Gatos is staggering. The felony of signing that paper.
And I can't remember from our last conversation.
I know
maybe I didn't ask you. How long have you lived here?
I've raised my kids here, and they're all grown. I've lived here for well over 40 years. I'm from Santa Monica.
Santa Monica, right?
Yeah, I was born in Santa Monica.
Was there any other?
Sorry about that.
Did you ever have any other past interactions with people in Santa Monica, anything like that? I'm just interested in what results were there.
In a police way? I've never. You guys can look at my record. I don't have a record. I don't even have traffic tickets. I don't have anything illegal. I've never done anything illegal. I've raised my kids here. I've owned 2 companies. I've owned 2 businesses here, a photography business and a limousine company. I've owned a limousine company. Google was my biggest account. So these YouTube people, I'm trying to figure out actually how to get a hold of them, because I'm going to call YouTube and I'm going to get a hold of their CEO.
So I was hoping this could help you. So I've been trying to do research on how to protect you.
Oh, I appreciate this.
In your YouTube channel. So I glanced over it, and I think this is going to be beneficial, because you can flag specific comments, and this actually maps out how to do it. And
I understand all that, and actually know how to do all, and some of this I'm learning as we go. But I actually want this person prosecuted, because there's no reason for it. I don't allow. I delete other comments when somebody threatens, like Hoyt, the other Hoyt. There was some comments made against him and his family, and I've deleted them. I'm blown away, and I'm pissed off that YouTube let 4 or 5 of these comments go through against me. And I've even responded to a couple of them, and they actually censored my comment. And all I said was, "I know you're a cop." I said, "I know you're a cop," and I said one other thing, but I didn't threaten him anyway. I just said, "I know you're a cop."
No, it doesn't sound threatening.
No, but I said something else, but it wasn't threatening. I can't remember exactly what I said, because it got erased. It never even got posted. So they're censoring my response to this guy, which is pissing me off. So I know people at Google that I can call.
Yeah, that sounds definitely like a civil thing that you should address with Google.
So I'm not happy about that either.
If it helps you understand anything for your own edification, I also printed out jury notes and jury instructions, what they read to juries for prosecution.
Okay.
There's legal jargon in here. It also mentions other case laws that are applicable to certain circumstances, and some of them aren't.
Okay. There was one other thing, because you asked me about the history. there was other one, something that happened.
That's only.
I know.
I'm just wondering how.
No.
How your life
And I'm cool with it.
has been.
I'm completely transparent. I don't care what's said about me. There was one incident that literally happened like a week, plus or minus, of that bicycle incident in Campbell. I was on Los Gatos Trail, and some guy it was just some idiot, and he assaulted me. It was no big deal. He was an old man. I could have, I could.
I'm sorry, did you say insult or assault?
An incident. He assaulted me. Yeah.
Assault.
He swung at my camera.
Okay.
3 times. Campbell prosecuted him immediately. The difference between Campbell prosecuting and Los Gatos prosecuting, the thing is Campbell, because I don't have any history with them, they don't dislike me. Los Gatos dislikes me for whatever reason, because I try to make a complaint against Hoyt and Fleming, not you, the other Hoyt. Since then, I'm basically a criminal to them. They won't take phone calls from me. They refuse to respond to me. Emails, everything. I've had Robert Schultz threaten to sue me if I sue him. If I name his name in a lawsuit, he threatened to sue me. Robert Schultz, I'm going to sue you. And I'm telling you, you're a felon. You're a coward, and you're a felon for signing that affidavit illegally, because you lied multiple times, and you're a felon. You and Gabrielle Whelan are felons, and I intend to follow up on that. Okay. Straight up, Robert Schultz. So sue me for that. Defamation of character, Robert Schultz. You can sue me for that if you want to prove me wrong. You can sue me for that, Robert Schultz. I'm calling you a felon, a straight up felon. Sue me for that. Prove me wrong. Take me to court and sue me. He's already threatened to sue me, so I want to see him sue me.
Okay. Regarding this, only because I'm a little bit on the time crunch.
I understand. So actually, what is happening with this? Are they basically saying, no, we're not going to do anything?
It's stagnant unless more happens. And so one side of this is saying the DA's office can't prosecute on your case, which means nothing more in our investigation will bring you relief unless you see someone suspicious, you suspect that this person might be related to this crime or not related to this crime, just in general.
I think the biggest reason I want him prosecuted is because I'm almost 100% positive. I can't prove this. I'm almost 100% positive it's a cop. It's either a cop or a relative of a cop that did that. That's why I want it. That's why I want it traced to find out. If I'm wrong, I'll publicly admit I was wrong.
So there are certain steps that we start doing, and I can't show you this because
it's okay.
But Ricardo 666. You've probably Googled that, right?
No, I just went to his channel page, which you can just click on and it'll bring you right to his channel.
Okay, what was the result of that?
I can't feel my phone right now. I think he doesn't really have a channel, but anybody that goes on Google has to have an IP address. So you can click on that and you can go right to them. You can go right to their, what would be a channel. If they want to post videos, they can. Most of the time, like 90% of the time, if you click on that, it'll say no videos, but it'll show their picture, give a little bit of information about it. If they wanted a profile, they'll put a profile there. If they don't, there isn't. But there's a way to trace it, and I know there's a way to trace that to their computer, to their IP address, and what it is to trace it to their Gmail, because you have to have a Gmail account to have a YouTube thing. It's all tied together. They're all on together.
Are you familiar with the term CalECPA, California Electronic Privacy Act?
No.
Okay. Probably about 7 or 8 years ago, we used to be able to write a standard search warrant and reach into Google, YouTube, any type of system that third-party messages were conveyed and extract information. Now with CalECPA, it basically covers privacy to the extreme. So we couldn't just walk up and search.
I get that. No, I understand that. Like, you can't randomly just pick out some guys, hey, we're going to check into your account or whatever, or information or whatever. But this person made a pretty clear threat. I understand it's only $25. The amount of money isn't the issue. It's the matter of the fact that he did it, and I have a pretty good positive sense that it's a cop, and I want him exposed. I know nothing's going to happen, but I want him exposed. I know they're not going to do anything, but I want this cop's name exposed. And if he's a family member, a cop, I want that exposed, that a cop did that. I don't care I don't even care if they put him in. I know they're not going to do anything to him because they just don't. but I want him exposed. So and I will follow up on this. I will, because I can't imagine any more clearer of a threat than what this person wrote, and the fact that he wrote it multiple times. So it's not like it was a random angry thought, on the spur of the moment. He wrote it 5 different times. So he clearly is serious about it. No matter how small the threat seems, it's a threat, and I want him exposed. So I don't expect them to arrest him, but I want his name exposed so I can put him on my channel and expose him. I'm going to keep following up on that. And so if you're saying the other things that I'm talking about, like making the police work, so I think I have to be there before 1 o'clock to file a complaint against an officer. Am I going to the town hall, or am I going to that across the courtyard to that police station to file that report? Because I'm going to wear my body camera, and if I get arrested, I'm going to let them arrest me this time. I'm going to let them arrest me this time. If they make that foolish of a move, like they did last time, which is straight out illegal. I was trying to file a police report, and they forcibly made me leave the building, or I was going to be arrested.
Have you attempted the link through the online?
No, because I don't think that goes anywhere, so I'm not going to do that. I want it stamped and returned to me, and I expect to be followed up on it. I'm not going to just write out some form, send it off online, and just forget about it and we all go about our day. I expect to be have somebody call me back and tell me what's going on. I expect that. This is just like any business. You guys are a business just like any other business. I expect a call back and say, hey, and follow up on what's going on, whether they're not going to do anything or not. I expect to be this to be followed up on. So you're saying so what is my next step now? Since you're saying the DA won't do anything about this, that he doesn't think that this is a crime. Because I think to the letter of the law, it's exactly a crime.
It's what you can, like I said, it's what we know and what we can prove. If I can't get this proven in a court of law, where does the investigation go?
But what's to prove it? I mean, it's in print. It's in print, so there's nothing to prove. I mean, it's as simple as, like I said, the very first phone call we had, this is as simple as it gets. Yeah. He wrote it in print, which is permanent. You can trace it right to his address. It's literally, with a little bit of work, as simple as it gets to just follow up on it and actually do some police work, and not to just say, hey, we don't like this guy, we're not following. But just like the bike incident, I already know about that. That guy must have a friend at the police station or somebody. That needs to be followed up on also, because he made a racial slur. So how, not to keep sidestepping, but I want that followed up on too. I expect that guy to be prosecuted. That's a racist comment during a road rage incident.
When you communicate these complaints, are they just through phone, or are they through emails?
I went down and made a
full
this
is what I'm attempting to do, because I don't work 24/7.
I understand.
If you respond to the town attorney's office and it hasn't been met with the desired effect, then I would probably suggest different avenues, and that's why I would say the either telephonic or electronic, the email, which you've already done.
Well, I think we're kind of at the point now where I need to go above each person that's doing a dereliction of their job, like the town attorney. I mean, so I've already made it clear that they've committed a felony. So isn't it their job to follow up on that? Now that they're being I'm letting them be aware that a felony was committed, a crime has been committed. They signed a legal paper and lied on it. That's a felony, that's a crime. If I let them know, why aren't they following up on that? That's a crime. Yeah. I mean, come on, it's got to be handled right. It's a crime. They have to. They can't make me jump through hoops to get something done, and it just keeps going, sitting on someone's desk, and then pushed into the trash later, months down the line. No, they're aware of a crime, and they have to do something about it. Just like the threats online, just like the felony that Gabrielle Whelan and Robert Schultz signed an affidavit that needs to be investigated by your town, by whoever supervises them. And if the town manager doesn't want to do it, then we need to get the mayor involved, and they need to assign somebody. If they have to hire somebody from outside to come and investigate it, or whatever has to be done, it's a crime that's a crime that's being reported. And the Los Gatos Police Department and Town Hall, it's their obligation and their job to do something about it. Straight out.
You just have to have the right people investigating the right people, correct?
But why should we be jumping through hoops? If I'm coming in and making the report and making the claim, why isn't anything being done?
You're talking to the wrong person to answer
I know,
that question.
man. I
apologize,
appreciate all your
Gary,
time and everything, but somebody has to step up. Somebody has to step up and start doing the right thing.
In any business, and police organizations are businesses. If you don't get the outcome, like if you were at a restaurant and you had a problem with the food or the service, you ask for this person, and if that doesn't happen, you go to this person. If that doesn't happen, Better Business Bureau,
and
so on. Right?
And I've been doing all the steps of the agencies, and I've been doing all the steps of what everybody that tells me, you talk to the town attorney. Okay, I went to that clearly didn't work. Okay, then goes to the town manager. That person called the police on me. I'm still staggered by I had the police called on me for trying to fill out a police report. That just, to me, I think everybody in Los Gatos needs to understand that if you call the Los Gatos Police Department, you're taking everything in your own hands. Because this all started from me calling the police about a neighbor who approached me covered in blood. It's what got this whole thing started.
Well, I know.
So if I wouldn't have called, he could have bled out and died. The fact that I called, Hoyt and Fleming, not you, Hoyt, the other Hoyt, jumped in my face and threatened to arrest me on my own property. On my own property, I was threatened to be cuffed and fucking have my ass taken to jail for standing on my own property. I didn't do anything. I wasn't the person that committed the crime. I'm the one that called the police. So everybody in Los Gatos needs to understand that if you call the police because you see somebody bleeding, man, it could backfire on you. It could backfire on you big time, because this is what it's led to.
Okay.
It's all what it's about. And because they won't handle it, it just keeps snowballing and getting worse. And now it's to the point where I can't even call the Los Gatos Police Department about a crime because they refuse to talk to me. For what? So what on my record? What have I ever done? What crime have I ever committed that got them to treat me this way? It's embarrassing for you guys, man. It really is. And you got a couple good officers. The guy that I talked to the other day that I thought was you, he's a good guy. You're a good guy. You're stuck in a department with a bunch of, and it goes way above you, because the people below you are just officers themselves. But the people that are above you, the town attorney, the town manager, and the chief of police, who's a clear-out coward and will not respond to a phone call to address the situation, it's an embarrassment for you guys. And honestly, you should go to a different police department and work, because, go to a small town or something where people are decent. But here in Los Gatos, these people are they're just straight up criminals. Robert Schultz, Gabriel Whelan, straight up criminals. And Robert, the other Hoyt, Fleming, those guys shouldn't be able to carry a gun. These are two people with anger problems that should not be able to carry a gun.
Okay. Well, Gary, I'm already past due to head out. Okay. My parting words is, I'm trying to look out for you and do right by you.
Okay.
I hope that one day we can change the adversarial opinion that you have.
Tell the chief to call me, and we'll talk. We'll sit down and have a conversation just like this. Just a pleasant conversation just like this. If he wants to sit down and have a conversation with me, it can be over with that day. If not, I'm going to go on, and I'm not going to stop. So as we stand right now for this, are you done with this, or do I need to?
Unfortunately, yes, unless something else comes up. And if you have any other questions regarding this and the legality of prosecution, the Santa Clara County DA's office, they're always willing to talk to people and answer questions about victims of crimes.
Okay.
And oftentimes, since they argue this in court all day, they may be able to even explain it better than I can.
Okay. I mean, I'll accept your answer for that, but I mean, it's.
I know it's not, like I said.
It's not even close to what I expect.
It's not what you were looking for.
Yeah, I expect something to be done, and something will be done, because I won't stop. I'll just keep coming.
Just stay vigilant.
Yeah.
Look out for yourself. If something new transpires, document it.
Yeah.
Right. You have my email.
Okay.
And hopefully this person leaves you alone.
I'm okay. I don't want to go into too much detail about that, but I'm not. I mean,
here, let's stand up, because I got to get moving.
Okay. But just one more thing. So, to follow up on everything else, where do I go? Just a generalization. Where do I go? Because nobody is responding.
You said you spoke to the AG's office, and they said to contact them if you didn't get any other.
Attorney General. Yeah. So that's going to be my last resort, and if that's what I have to do, then that's what I have to do.
Yeah.
It's a shame that Los Gatos can't. They're aware of it, and they won't do anything about it. That's a felony. What's going on with Gabrielle Will and Robert Schultz. That I expect
There's
something
some
to be
words to live by right there. Be kind or be alive. Don't care, live life. Well, I would say care. I think if people cared more about each other, this place, the world would be a happier place.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, if we could just handle this in a good way. Thanks.
Good to see you. Like I said, if you see me, I'll hopefully be back in uniform soon. And
hope your knee's better.
yeah, thank you.
Have a
Say
good
hi
one.
to me, and
I will.
Maybe we'll stop and have some more coffee.
All right. Have a good one. Bye.